What is going on, New Life? My name is Turner. I'm one of the pastors at GLR. We are right in the middle of Big Screen, my favorite series in the entire world. If you haven't seen one, get to a campus. If your friends haven't been to it, if your family hasn't been to it, invite them. It is incredible. So this morning, I'm going to do what I'm calling a little big screen. And I want to ask you guys this. Have y'all seen on the History Channel, now I just weeded out a lot of people, a game show called Alone. Now it's not in a studio. It is 10 men and women get dropped off in the middle of nowhere, like negative 30 degrees, Antarctica nowhere, to survive. And whoever survives the longest wins, and the prize money is typically like $500,000. It's pretty insane, but you never know when you're the last person. It's crazy. You go bonkers. But what I love about this show is they drop them off, and they all do this. They all take a big, deep breath, and they go, peace and quiet. Finally, I'm alone. But there's a big shift that happens. You start to see the really weak and the really mentally weak people, the inexperienced, start to crack. Now, when you land, you look at your environment and you're like, I'm going to build this with this stuff, my shelter. Then I'm going to start looking around for food. All of that flips on them. The shelter becomes more difficult to build, and they start to have more fear, more hopelessness, because there's bears, there's wolves, there's elk, really dangerous wildlife. But whenever they start, they see that as food. But day 20, day 30, all that starts to become predators. Once was prey, now it's predators. The ones who rise to the top are the ones who don't just survive, they thrive. And it is so crazy, you guys. There's this shift from solitude to isolation. And this happens to us all the time. The ones who are isolated, what happens is they see their friends, their accountability partners as ones who judge them. They see them as enemies. They see the church as a place where they cannot find peace anymore. It is insane. The things that were there to help you become your enemy. Get this. I want you to write this down. Isolation will take you further than you ever wanted to go. And this is what isolation does. It makes you think irrationally. Proverbs 18:1 says this: one who isolates himself pursues selfish desires. He rebels against all sound wisdom. Here's an attitude of isolation, some red flags, things that you say. I just need to work on myself. I cannot stand when people say that. No one is reaching out to me. Call somebody. Keep asking. Keep reaching out. This is my favorite one. I'm just too busy to be in church. I'm too busy to go to church. Come on. There's a story where there was a group of us doing something called an eco challenge, and we got lost. We were hungry. We were isolated. And we came up with this really dumb idea to build a fire right underneath a tree. That's how you start forest fires. I do not recommend that. But what I want to do is I want to show you the right way to respond. And it's all how Jesus responded. It's in the concept of how Jesus got away, how Jesus withdrew from the crowd. And I want to look at the account in John 11. Verses 45 through 54. Therefore, many of the Jews had come to visit Mary and had seen what Jesus did. But some of them went to the Pharisees. So some of them believed him, some of them told on Jesus. Then the chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting. And so they go through all of this insane conversation, but it gets to a point where Caiaphas, the high priest of that time, prophesies and says that Jesus is going to die for the Jewish nation, and it will scatter all the children of God. So after that, Jesus does this, and this is what I really want to pinpoint. Therefore, in verse 54, it says, therefore, Jesus no longer moved about publicly among the people of Judea. Instead, he withdrew to a region near the wilderness. Now, people are trying to kill Jesus. They are plotting to kill Jesus. So Jesus got away into solitude. Here's an attitude of solitude: surrender, patience, understanding, and the most important is humility. Write this down. Just like alone, someone who is skilled in survival is never truly lost, is never truly isolated. In the same way, someone who is skilled in solitude, someone who is skilled in withdrawing from the world, getting off social media. I'm filming this the day after Instagram and Facebook went dark for like an hour. It was insane. This is your skill guide, the Word of God. Everything that we need to know is in this book. How do we snap out of isolation? With humility and intentionality with friends. Lower your pride. Have a conversation with somebody who has differing opinions from you, and don't just go into a conversation trying to change them. Go into a conversation trying to learn. It's so crazy how people just want to butt heads all the time. Let's lower our pride. In alone, the ones who win are the ones that are prepped, the ones that do not freak out when plans go awry. They look at their resources, they revert back to the training, and they keep a humble attitude, because Mother Nature does not have partiality. And so, New Life, my biggest encouragement for you is to humble yourself, get into solitude, get out of isolation. I love you. Have a great day.